We'll look at the tyres. Are they the same size? Yes, they are. Are they the same size? No, they're not. So this buggy is designed to go loose at the rear end when it goes round corners, so they've added an extra width on the tyres. That means you've got to get this buggy going much faster, and that's what racing is. Racing is about small gains over a long period of time add up to you winning the race. So dudes like David at Kai City RC are foolish to think that there's big gains in racing car design. The little gains add up to a big saving after a 50-60 lap race. So while you're expecting big gains out of race cars from tiny improvements, you're just a child thinking that way. Now we can look at these tyres here with the rolling resistance. All these spikes on the tyre create an enormous rolling resistance right down here. So when the tyre, look at it, the tyre's not even sitting on the surface. The spikes are sitting on the surface, and then they resist forwards movement. So when the tyre rolls, these spikes push the tyre backwards. There. And here we are. They've flattened out the tips of the spikes so that you get a bit more forwards motion and less rolling resistance, but it's still, this tyre is obviously designed to push into sand, because dirt is too hard for these knobbies to push into. You're just going to wear them off. So all these tyres have spikes on them, so that these racing cars, they're supposed to slide around when they're going around corners. Right, so they've increased the width on the rear, so that when this car goes around corners, the rear end will have a bit of grip when it goes sideways. So when you go around corners, it's no good if this tyre's grabbing onto the carpet, because your buggy is not designed for carpets. These things are too big to punch into the carpet. Yeah. Again, this tyre is designed to push into the sand. That's why they're titled sand tyres. It's a balloon. There's no tread except for these spikes. It's a balloon tyre. Yeah, this is a balloon tyre as well. You're running them indoor on carpet. Yeah, you've got to be able to have a wheel that will slide around corners, because when you look at your buggy, the heavy weight is all up the back here, right? There's no engine at the front here. The engine is at the back. So this is designed that when you brake, right, the front wheels grip and the rear of the car is supposed to slide out and turn, right? Because that's where all the weight is. Once you brake, this wants to overtake this, and so this will go out sideways So you've got to have a tyre that will allow some slip, some wheel spin, so that the rear end of the car can actually start turning the car because it's got the heavy weight. So you brake going in the corners, the heavy weight will turn the car. You don't have to turn the wheel. You don't have to turn the steering wheel. You're not doing anything. With this design where the engine is at the back of the car, when you brake, the engine turns the car, not you, right? The engine's turning the car, and your job is to steer counterclockwise to reduce how much this thing is turning the car at the back of the car, right? So you turn the corner, right? You point it into the corner, you brake, and then the rear end spins out, and then you counter steer when you're going around the corner, right? So it's no good if you want to have this rear end corner hug when you go around the corner. You got to buy a whole nother design. You got to put the engine into the front of the car, in the front of the buggy. You know, this is a rear engine design car, so you aren't turning, you're counter turning when you go around corners. Right? Same with this design here. Where's all the engine? The engine is all up here. The heavy weight is up the back, it's not up the front. There's no big weight here. So again, you've got to be going fast enough that this rear end will slide out when you brake. If you're not sliding the rear when you brake for a corner, buy another car. This isn't designed for your driving style. You know, you've got the engine at the back, the heavy weight is up here. So that the idea of this one, again, you brake, you got to turn the corner, the rear will spin one way or the other depending on which way you pointed the wheel. And once the car's turning because of the heavy weight and you're braking, then again you counter steer when you go around the corner. You're adjusting how much anti-turning the car so that you stop the car from doing a 360 spin. So as soon as you decide to mount the car and the engine in the back of the buggy, right, you've also decided that you're counter steering at every corner. You know, because the car is rotating because of the weight in the back of the car. You don't steer into the corner. You don't do that and have a tail that hugs the corner when it goes around the corner. You don't do that. This buggy is designed that these wheels are that way and this is sliding out. You've got to have no grip on the rear because you're counter steering when you go around the corner. You're not turning into the corners and steering all the way around the corner. It's just childish. You've mounted the engine at the back of the car. Look, there it is. So you don't do much work turning around the corner. The engine is doing all this turning, the steering. It's turning the car. And the four-wheel drive is designed to pull you out of the corner. Whereas the rear wheel drive car, this is a four-wheel drive, but pretend this is a two-wheel drive. The rear is supposed to push you out of the corner. It's very different from pulling you out of the corner. These pull you out of the corner. Two-wheel drive will push you out of the corner, but push you sideways even further. Will push the rear end out. Look at your buggies before you actually learn to drive the things. You know, It's obvious when you see where's the engine mounted. It's at the back. It's at the back in the wheelbase. Look, it's right at the back of the wheelbase. It's not even halfway. It's not even way up the front. It's not a mid-engine or a front-engine car design. You've got to drive it differently. All you people are buying the rear-mounted engine and you're driving it as if the engine is mounted up here. You've got to stop being children and educate yourself like a racing car driver that you're claiming to be, but at the moment you're just a bunch of stupid kids. Shut up, you stupid idiots.